The Logan Paul saga continues. You may remember that he had to leave YouTube because of the video that he uploaded of going to the suicide forest in Japan, where he showed video of a dead person who had just recently committed suicide and then made jokes afterwards. He apologized, whatever, and he tried to move on from that. But there is a group called We Are Unicorns, which you can subscribe to on YouTube, and they basically do news about YouTubers. And they compiled a bunch of the other stuff he did in Japan that he did not get in trouble for. Here's a minute of that. Take a look.
I just gotta be careful to not disrespect the culture. Japan is all about the respect. The dumb Americans have arrived. Look good. Oh, don't worry about me, I'm just a vlogger. Gotta be careful to not disrespect the culture. Tokyo is a real life cartoon. It's gonna eat the GoPro. What did he do?
No. You
know how it is in Japan, they're all about the respect. We're gonna be respectful. LoganPaul.com/shop. Look, they just got loaves of bread. I'll take the whole thing. What's the issue?
This one is just for a display.
Oh, so we're gonna be respectful. The Game Boy Color. How much? 9,500? Ah! Excuse me, sir. The game seems to be malfunctioning. Mucho broken, though. Toyota, I choose you. No. Okay, get him. Honey, get him. Catch you. I choose you.
This guy sucks.
He's terrible.
I mean,
oh my God.
What a savage, am I right? What a maverick.
So
He's
good.
so brave. He's doing things that other people don't do. And that's what the Logan.
His hair still
But
pisses me off.
I feel like I've seen all that stuff in middle school. That's how middle school boys act.
and that's his audience.
Yes, exactly. Just run around, act crazy, but you think you're actually tight because you do that. It's but it's weird because all of his videos are like this. So why are people just now realizing that he is this he actually is this terrible?
Well, because he was isolated before. It wasn't
every once in a while.
It wasn't major news. It wasn't he wasn't showing a dead body in every single video. So he was able to sort of skate under the radar because it was just his demo that was watching that was interested.
But as I'm sure Brett probably has some tweets that he's said in the past. He has said some things and done some things
over years
that are offensive and just rude and immature.
Before we get to his tweets, Chrissy Teigen,
love her.
Daron loves.
Love her.
I have a tradition of not really vibing with, to say the least.
But she eats McDonald's, Brett.
She does eat McDonald's, utterly relatable. You tweeted at me. She does. She had a whole McDonald's commercial. I was like, what? And I think I was behind, and then I was like, oh my, okay, whatever. It's so stupid. Anyways, but she tweeted, Tokyo is so fucking beautiful and so fucking kind, so fucking wonderful. There is no place like it in the world. I thought the suicide video was the stupidest thing he did, but no. And while the suicide video is the empirically, I guess, stupidest thing he did, I agree with Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah.
For once in my life, I think this is absolutely spot on. If you go to Tokyo, maybe the reason I like it is the opposite of Logan Paul. It is not outright disrespectful for no reason. In fact, the default setting is kindness, friendliness, and be quiet unless you have something to say.
Logan Paul.
Ideal.
Yeah.
He goes up to these people who the culture is very much you don't go up to people and bother them. Like the subway, no one talks and everyone is very, very kind. And it's so frustrating that he would first say I want to be respectful. And then in his apology say, I made a mistake. And then it's very proven all people had to do was go a little bit deeper and they find all this crap. There is a video by, Super Deluxe. Super Deluxe found a video that's this isn't exactly the weirdest thing that he ever did.
Right.
He did a prank in Los Angeles, it looked like, where he was on a 10-story window, had all his fans get lined up looking at him in the window, and someone comes up behind him with a shotgun, pulls the trigger, and it looks like Logan has been shot with a shotgun and blood smears all over the window. He slowly falls down, and then they cut to his 12-year-old fans, and his 12-year-old fans are looking at it Of course shocked, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely, utterly traumatized. The same way we went after the daddy of 4 or whatever it was that traumatized his kids and yelled at them and abused them. And it's this strange Stockholm syndrome where he traumatizes these kids and then afterwards they're like, subscribe, you're great, I love it, I should be like this.
I think, okay, so I'm new to Logan Paul. So I look at him with fresh eyes, and even if what has happened in our culture wasn't happening now, I would still look at Logan Paul and be like, what a privileged bro douchebag. Yeah. He's the type of guy that would ask you, in your relationship with your husband, are you the man or the woman? You know, some stupid shit like that. But you know what? His audience is just as guilty as he is because they've enabled him to continue to do these things and continue to be inappropriate, disrespectful, what other words could I, there's so many words I could say right now that are not appropriate, terrible. Just ultimately, he needs to be held accountable. And I'm the type of person that thinks that, okay, you know what, as Oprah says and Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. But in this case, he needs to be dealt with accordingly. And what that means is YouTube needs to step in, Twitter needs to step in and handle business. Let's Kerry Washington would say, it needs to be handled.
So what should happen?
Well, so when we talked with Joey Salads, remember we did the video on Joey Salads, and I said he needs to be eradicated off of these platforms, and people were like, "Oh my God, Jason, it's free speech. How can you think that?" But now I think it's a different time. I think he does need to be screw suspension, screw these time restraint punishments. It needs to be done for good. For good. I think you get so many strikes because if anyone else had did that, I think the discipline and the ramifications and the fallback would have been a lot worse. I think Logan Paul is getting a pass and he doesn't deserve that anymore.
Grace, thoughts? Well,
especially in a time when like creators are getting strikes on their channel for talking about controversial content and they're getting flagged for stuff that the Paul brothers, honestly, both of them are just being able to like skate above the surface. I don't think that he needs to be kicked off the platform, but I do think that there needs to be consequences for his action. Something I do want to touch on that is like the really frustrating about Logan Paul is that the Maverick brand and what you'll see from a lot of his fans, perhaps in the very comment section of this video, is that he said he's sorry and Mavericks do something different. Like we're a brand of we're the strongest team on the internet and we do things that other people don't do. Well, there's certain things that we are supposed to do out of decorum and respect.
Just don't be a shit.
And that's the thing, like the whole Maverick brand, like he's selling, like you're being sold to, and he's kind of this warped, twisted genius where he was able to tie this, we go against the grain, we don't do what other people do, which is like respect countries when we're tourists and visitors to those countries, or a whole bunch of things, and then he tied that to his merchandise that he wants you to buy, and that he, so that he gets richer, and then he can flaunt his wealth to you, like. Wise up, guys. I don't think that Logan Paul is at his core an awful, awful person, but I think he has lost his grip on reality right now, and it has been rewarded by his fan base that bought into this, merchandise machine. So people need to check out of that so he can check in with himself and figure out who he is and get in touch with his humanity and not just his YouTuberism, because that's not who we should expect him to be.
Yeah, and you see all these like weird existential crisis eyeballs that he has, like when he. I don't know. I kind of see it. He's like, I'm sorry, I did the wrong thing. Like, yeah, if that hits him at the core, fucking act like it.
Yeah.
He seems like, go down.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like YouTube should, at the very least, hold up the guidelines that they already have for videos that are uploaded to YouTube. I mean, they say they have these guidelines, certain things aren't allowed on YouTube, but somehow things are slipping through and it happens to be the people that are bringing them the most viewers and the most money. So if they could, at the very least, start with holding up the guidelines that they already have, maybe making new ones and holding those up, I think that would be a small start, but it would be something.
Fine him.
Oh. Yeah, or something.
That's the thing, is there's traditional media that we talk about as like television and film. And if you make an FCC violation of that, you pay a fine. And the more and more that digital media outlets become the traditional media of our day, the more they need someone who can show up and be like, hey, Logan Paul, you violated our terms of service. We are fining you.
Right, yeah. Janet's boob popped out and her career hasn't recovered since. And I mean, and I think that was a malfunction, not intentionally done, but you have this guy on this platform doing things intentionally. And Grace, I agree with you. I think at Logan's core, he's probably an awesome guy. But at this time in our society, he needs to be, and he's young. he's young. I feel like he will bounce back, but it's just like when you, I don't know, when you get a DUI, you're supposed to learn from that, right? Mm-hmm. He needs to learn. Oh, you gonna learn.
We'll see. Learn the lesson from Jason, damn it.